Of course, I turn on the camera and the snow stops. You can see. Well, it's evening time and I took a shower because I've been out in the shed all day. So let's go inside. Well, happy Valentine's Day. It's been a while. And as you can see, my wife loves me and has purchased me a clever box of chocolates as well as flowers. So what have I been up to? Well, I did retire, and we're taking off in a couple weeks for the Redwoods in the Casita. And if you follow along that project at all, I've kind of not filmed. In fact, today I'll show some video here. It's actually snowing outside, so I hope this trip works out okay. But what we've been up to is we are preparing the Casita for departure, our first trip. It still needs some work. I'm sure there's some modifications. I've done a variety of, not repairs, but I guess upgrades. You know, when you buy an older trailer like we have done, which, you know, if this is your first time coming to this channel, I appreciate you watching. Stick around. It is the home of all marginal content, so bear with me. But what I'm talking about is our 96, what a goof. It is a 1999 Casita, I think 16 foot, maybe 17 foot. They're a little unclear on the models and it doesn't say on the title, but the 16 foot I think traditionally came with an air conditioner mounted near the floor that faced out the front, or the exhaust or intake or whatever. So originally the trailer came with a vinyl cover that covered this big grate, and it's a bunch of unused space, and frankly I'm really tempted to take the thing out. But that being said, the air conditioner's still in the trailer, but it was missing that cover, which is just kind of exposed to the elements. Well, we're here in the Pacific Northwest, and so I've been struggling, so I just got a wild hair. I had some kind of high density foam, and I went to a local craft store and bought some marine grade vinyl. So I fabbed up basically a cover that kind of uses most of the fasteners. Unfortunately, a couple of the fasteners from the factory are missing. So I'm gonna, if anybody knows what those are called, they're the kind of little poke through twisty things. I don't even know where to buy them. I suspect it's something I can maybe pop rivet to the trailer. I don't know. But we have a Casita. We plan on some long-term adventures. We're not a van life channel, or we're not selling our house, which since it's snowing outside, I'm currently seated in the house. But anyway, we're not like uprooting things. However, I am retired now, so what I do is kind of up to me. Dana's still working. But that being said, I have made a few upgrades. There was an awning. If you were one of the tens of people that watched that install, I put an overland style batwing awning, which requires some tie down points. Well, what never got on video purposely was that on the front of the trailer, I didn't have a tie down point, and I would tie it to what used to be the vent for the stack in the black tank. And since I replaced that vent cover, I haven't wanted to tie it off to that, or haven't wanted to tie that off to that. So I went to the home store, and you know those command strip hooks that you can buy? I bought a stainless steel one. I ditched the kind of two-sided tape that comes with it and used some 3M or Gorilla type tape, which I've had good luck on services. So this Casita is fiberglass. It's like a boat hull, which is the upside to this whole arrangement, right? Again, being in the Pacific Northwest, having owned several RVs, be it a 2-axle traditional camp trailer down to a tent trailer, everything leaks. And I've solved 90% of that by building a shop where I have a lean-to where the trailer's parked so it doesn't get rained on nearly as much. However, my other kind of hack for that was buying this fiberglass. We don't have a budget for an Airstream, which is kind of the ideal in rough weather. However, a fiberglass trailer is pretty darn good. And you can just smell instantly when you go inside the trailer that no water has ever been in there. The other cool thing about a Casita style trailer is that what you see on top is what you see underneath. I've done some work underneath, made videos about that. But you'll notice in those videos, it's actually a hard shell on the bottom. So many RVs have like this black netting mesh stuff on the bottom. Doesn't really give you a good weather seal. So this truly is a 4-season, I believe, camper trailer. Not that I'm a cold weather camper, but it is nice peace of mind. Some other things that we repaired, I didn't really repair it. Someone had stolen one of the 2 propane tanks. I purchased a new one. The prior owner had just plugged the hole, so I reattached the propane line, tested that out. That's all good to go at this point. Kind of going from front to back. I guess the biggest change that we made is there's an awkward kind of coat closet just as you come in the door, and I think it's present on most Casita trailers. It's not really long enough to put anything long, but it's probably that tall. I'm reaching off screen. But anyway, it's probably 2 or 3 feet tall. I went ahead and built some shelves with my very limited carpentry skills. I think they turned out pretty well. The bottom shelf is about 9 inches over the floor. The top shelf is 8 or 9 inches over that one. So that gives us a little bit more room to work with. Maybe throw some bindles and bags and that sort of thing in that little coat closet and make it a little more utilitarian. Obviously, I made a video about putting the cargo net in place of the overhead shelf over the front dinette. That's still in place. However, since you guys saw the Casita, I went ahead and completed the blind install, so I have a blind over that. If you're watching this, you're probably either interested in buying a Casita or already own one. The one thing I would say is if you're putting hanging blinds like we did in the Casita, that it being kind of boat shaped, or in this case upside down boat shaped, the walls are kind of laid in, they're not square, perfectly square. So if you hang something and it goes down, there's going to be a gap there. So what I did to fix that was to purchase some magnets on clips that I cut a small slit in the carpet beneath the windows, and it was completely, all I used was a utility knife. These clips are similar to like the sandwich bag type arrangements, only with a magnet. And I reversed those and kind of poked them in there, and then I took 2-sided tape and taped fender washers, just big diameter washers, to the inside of the bottom of the blind, so they just kind of clip into place now. It appears to me like that's going to work. We wanted the ability with the installation of those blinds to block light and then also have kind of a privacy function where you can slip it from the top down and kind of, I don't know, it was a Dana thing, but we got those kind of blinds. So that's been installed. I've installed temporarily a foam rubber mattress that I cut. Interestingly, it's pretty easy to cut foam rubber, and we had one we had made for the Bronco camping trips. So I just kind of repurposed that and cut it. Obviously the back bed of a Casita is a very odd shape. It's kind of in a half circle. So I just took and laid the cushions out and used that as a template and cut that. Additionally, when I constructed although I wouldn't take carpentry tips from me, but the way I made those shelves was in the front going back to the front closet, was I just took cardboard and kind of carved it up a little bit, and just to my eye, what it looked like it needed, and I pulled it in, cut a little bit more, back and forth until I got shelves that roughly fit, and then I just used a cordless skill saw to kind of rough it in, a belt sander to kind of smooth it out a little bit through some, well, you guys can't see it, but right there's my kitchen, my kitchen countertop is, what do you call that material? Like a cutting board material, so basically butcher block. So I had some leftover stain that I had used on that, which is food safe. So I went ahead and coated that plywood, which was, I think, 1/2 or 3/4 inch CDX that I just had laying around. It's indoor-outdoor plywood. It's pretty heavy duty. I took some scrap lumber, built legs for it, kind of screwed it from the top, screwed it from the bottom, so the shelves are actually locked together. It's very, very simplistic. Again, anybody with minimal carpentry skills could do it, because frankly, that's me. The other thing that I was working on today, and I'm going back a couple weeks of just little projects that I want to do. Unfortunately, the weather hasn't been cooperating, because I actually wanted to wash the trailer and kind of cut and buff the exterior so it shined again, and it's not that oxidized, chalky look, but maybe that's what we're going with. I don't know. Anyway, the other big project I had laid on is, obviously, while I have a pretty complete service history on the trailer, I had not ever serviced the bearings, and they're those buddy, like similar to a boat trailer, they're a buddy bearing. On on the driver's side of the trailer, I disassembled because there was some play in the wheel, and I wanted to make sure that that bearing wasn't shot. It wasn't, although I did remove it. This does take some mechanical expertise, because you can take the brake drum off easily enough. There's a big nut, like a castle nut with a little keeper on it. I took that off because, again, there was some movement in that, and I wanted to make sure that everything was good to go. So I removed that, removed the hub, but on the inside bearing, because it's got a bearing, an outside bearing and an inside bearing, it has a grease seal that, unless you have a seal removal tool, you're going to destroy in taking that out. I did not destroy mine. However, I was prepared to buy a new one should that be a thing, although I'm going to buy some new bearings just to have them with us. I took that out. I had purchased some grease, re-greased the bearings, then reinstalled them, retorqued that. So basically, if you get play in your trailer wheel, and you can basically feel it, like beyond maybe a 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch, which mine was like clunk, clunk, which means it needed to be adjusted. That is very simple to do. You just take there's a sheet metal keeper, which is kind of a splined flat washer. I just bent the thing down that was locked in the castle nut and was able to tighten that up, rekey it, and the wheel is tight. We'll see if I burn up a bearing. I guess I'll be buying a new bearing. But that being said, there's no play in the wheel anymore. It's been repacked with grease. On the passenger side, I didn't want to have to repeat that process because it's always a dice roll with removing the grease seal for one of those bearings. I just didn't want to mess with it. So I went ahead and just pumped it full of grease, and I could see the new grease pushing the old grease out. And that's, if you have buddy bearings, that's kind of the indicator. There's a little rubber cap that you can take out in the center. They're pretty cool. However, that's what I did. I am kind of old school in that I don't really trust that the inside race was getting all the grease it needed. However, we're going with it for this first trip. So that brings us up to date. Again, it's February 14th. I hope you hug your Valentine today and stick around for more marginal content. Again, I've made this video about 10 different times. There's probably stuff I forgot. I've been, again, just chipping away. I retired a couple weeks ago. Literally, it's 14th, so I retired 2 weeks ago. So I've been sitting around the house, just doing little projects here and there, mostly on the trailer. It's just I've been a terrible videographer, if you will. I'm still trying to get my feet under me. I hope to return to weekly content at some point, maybe in the next week. So, although the other thing I've been doing is I have been filming little clips of me doing stuff, but none of it has been like a video-worthy project. So keep that in mind too. Have a lot more content planned. I hope you stick around. Much of it is going to be travel and Casita related. So follow along. Join in if you want. Again, I have some videos I could suggest. I think that I have made some videos on really cool Casita specific things, like repurposing overland camping gear to regular RV life. In the largest part that I've done so far would be the install of that. Basically overland centric batwing awning. I think RV campers are sleeping on those, frankly. I will be constructing a box for the front of the thing to house the propane tanks and create some storage space, probably some additional storage space on the back, which again is way more kind of off-grid camping and overland style, because that's where kind of Dana and I have been the last few years. So we're going to more of a traditional RV for livability reasons, basically. So again, stick around. I would love to hear any feedback. If you have any comments on the stuff that I've done, any changes. The other big change, I don't even know if I've put a video out. We do have a Jackery power station now, and we used that during our last ice storm. I think I might have put that in a video, but anyway, we have a Jackery power station. So we're slowly collecting some of what I would consider either van life or off-grid or overland type stuff. But just keep in mind, we're kind of cross-purposing that, which I love to do, is buy something from one genre and find out that it applies to something else. I find that very interesting. So we do have that Jackery. We're going to take that with us and test it out. We have a folding fire pit, which is super cool, very overlandy. So that should be fun. You can probably hear the dog in the background, so I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a great day. vlog. I literally turned off the cameras and what? Just check this out. This is what we're dealing with. By the way, that Jackery I mentioned, power's out. And she's running the pellet stove, so there you go. Actually, you probably can't see that. Hang on one second. Forgive my massive dog. He's really frightened. So this is the Jackery. And display, 90%, output 100 watts, and she's running the pellet stove. So there you go. My lighting and camera setup. Again, I feel like such a goof. Fortunately, this will be edited on a MacBook Pro, so unless this power outage exceeds 15 or 20 hours, then I'm probably good. So anyway, just a little PS. I love you guys, and again, have a good, happy Valentine's Day. Bye.